you're between concerts at the moment, but playing quite a lot around Europe. How's it all going so far?
It's been going really well. I mean, we have been gone from the live scene for a couple of years, so we didn't really know what to expect, and but it feels like we've taken a big leap forward when it comes to a whole lot of things. Most importantly, I think we've become a better live act, um, and also, I mean, the audience seemed to have been really, really receptive to what we do, and we had. I think that I don't know how many shows we've done this year so far, but there's been quite a lot, and just a couple of shitty shows, and I think that has been more shitty shows from our perspective than from the audience. I think you have sometimes when you walk off stage and feel like you wanted to get out off of stage 30 minutes ago, and people still enjoy it. I think
Mm.
uh, maybe we shouldn't be so hard on ourselves that we are sometimes.
But I mean, are you quite perfectionist when it comes to doing this sort of stuff? Is that what's happening?
Actually, not. I don't think so, and I don't think we are a perfectionist band in that sense. That's more. I mean, that's just a gut feeling,
Hmm.
and it's very much an individual feeling too. You know, I mean that goes uh, within the band too. Sometimes you go off stage and people have completely different opinions and feelings and emotion of what we just have done. Uh, so I mean, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, does that include that one of you will think somebody else played really brilliantly, they themselves will think that things were going wrong?
Yeah, well, I mean, of course. I mean, the thing is, you are very aware of what you do yourself, and on stage, like basically, what I hear is my guitar. Hopefully, not always. Guitar, vocals, drums, and some keyboards. I hardly hear anything else. So I am very aware of what I play, and if I do fuck up, it could be very, very apparent for me. But in the whole picture, it might not even, you know,
Yeah.
nobody even notice it. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
But through the years, you kind of understand. So when I mean, it's not like doing mistakes because that you do that all the time. This is more of if you, I don't know, if you just don't play good. But the most important part is to be tight as an act, and I don't think you should focus on like small individual errors because we do that all the time, and that kind of actually makes us better at as musicians because sometimes we need to kind of dodge. It's not often, but sometimes when things happen or go wrong, the other needs to dodge and need to know, how to prevent the song to fall apart. Because we have very long parts, and sometimes the changes between the parts kind of uh, is being called from one of the elements, whether it be keyboard. Everybody knows that even though we forget how long this part should be, when I do the vocals, bam, that's where we go to the next part. Or when we hear this keyboard line, but if that doesn't happen, that's when you really get tested as a band, as musicians. If the person that is supposed to do that, kind of sign to everybody. If that person fucks up, then you really get tested, and that happens every now and then.
Yeah, and I should imagine, in songs as long as, Vicarious Redemption, for example, where
But that's an easy song though.
well, that's incredible that you would think that that's an easy song, because I think, probably to a lot of people, you think, good grief, song that long, trying to maintain your concentration to do all the things that have got to be done in that sequence. So maybe that says a lot about you guys and what you're capable of at this stage in your careers.
No, I mean the thing is, the problem is not if a song is long or not, because that has very clear structure that's very hard to miss. Harder is more when it comes like a bit more abstract songs that are more monotone. That's where the real trouble can be.
Okay. I mean, I have to say, I sort of consulted some more sort of metal friends of mine, just with some views about, for example, some of the people that are often quoted as your influences, and about you guys, and very complimentary about you guys as the live act, and a quite sort of English comparison of you being as tight as a frog's arse, which I think is a good thing that he said about you. But really enjoyed you playing, and he's going to see you at the Damnation Festival, which is much later in the year. I think is it
November sometimes.
Very much looking forward to you. So I think you carry quite a strong, even though you've been away from live for some time, a strong reputation as a live act, which I think is really important, sort of coming back to it after a while.
Yeah, I mean, for me, music is all about playing live. That's the reason why I spend all this time, because I mean, writing records and writing songs, it's a struggle. I have no better word to describe it than a struggle. I don't enjoy being in the studio. I'm not that. Writing music is not really enjoyable. It's like you really hope that what you do is good, and you're always on the edge of thinking that everything that we write sucks, and so it's for me it's really it's hard, and it's very exhausting. But when you go on stage, everything is done. You've written your songs. You've chosen the songs you think suits the live show the best. And I mean, on stage, that's where I can relax. Everything else is just very tense.
Has it been back into playing live? Or did you warm up, and did you practice a lot before you got back out on the road with this record?
We hardly ever practice. That's the problem.
Outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, that's we kind of. I mean, we live in different cities now, and we hardly ever meet all individuals in the band at all, actually, because it's hard to fit the schedule, and people have children, and we rehearse and practice in Umeå, but I live in Stockholm, Magnus lives in Stockholm, and there's live in Gothenburg. And I remember when I started writing or started playing music, we rehearsed 4 times a week, just for the fun of it. Now, for the last 10 years, I've practiced when we have written songs and before we go on tour. But I think practicing is boring. But it's something you need to do. It's something you need to do. But I mean, I can't understand the bands that play the same song, like they do 8-hour practice, like a day job. I would not be able to do that.
Yeah.
And actually, when we finally meet up, we just hang out and talk, like half of the time we're in the studio.
There must be a lot of catching up to do, and particularly, you're adults now with careers and with families. There's a lot of stuff to learn about each other again every time you meet up, not just to start straight into playing music. Yeah,
exactly. And we just talk about nothing.
Yeah.
Movies, about anything. Like, we need to play now. Yeah, okay. And then we do. So I mean, if you would condense all the hours that we meet and the hours we write really fast.
I mean, and having been away for quite a while before releasing this record, the record came out in January this year. You've been playing it. I mean, have you started to think about what comes next, or are you just, as much as possible, sort of enjoying playing the record rather than writing it or recording it?
You were kind of breaking up there, but if I understood you correctly, uh, was your question if we enjoyed playing it?
Yeah, you've already started thinking about what the next project for you guys will be, or if you're just sort of enjoying this for now.
No, no. I mean, the problem is when a record is released, I have already moved on in my thinking. So I know where I want to take. Actually, yeah, we're working on something now, and I know where I want to take my writing to another direction, most definitely. And I think that I know it's probably, yeah, it's a cliche, but I mean, the day I feel like we are writing the same kind of, I mean, we are, like, for me, I'm trapped in my own mind. Like, everything I do is gonna sound like I've done it. But the day I feel like I'm just writing because of just, I mean, the day I find when I when I write just to write, then it's not really fun at all, and then I'm gonna quit. But I think that I I'm pretty good at finding different ways, and maybe, I mean, it's all about keeping momentum. That's my point. I mean, I might end up in the same spot I were 7 years ago musically, and that's okay because it's still been a kind of a circular movement,
You're
and
still moving.
yeah, it's still moving, and but I'm not gonna stay there for long. But at least, I mean, some bands should always sound like they do. I mean, Iron Maiden should sound like Iron Maiden, and I think that there's one aspect of Cult of Luna that I absolutely love. That's the I wonder what we can get away with that we have on every album. I mean, we're trying to do stuff that, yeah, I mean, are we getting away with this? Are people really going to enjoy it? And I think we are very, very privileged because we have a great audience that actually seem to enjoy the parts where we are straying off of what we are or what we have been.
Mm.
So I think there's very few bands that get away with playing a song like Vicarious Redemption, doing songs like Passing Through, and doing electronic parts, um, and that's kind of, I think that's where you need to be as musicians, always trying to, sometimes maybe you push it too far, sometimes you
You
do
won't
not.
know unless you push. I think that's
But
a really important thing. You won't know you've pushed it too far until you've started pushing, and
yeah,
if that means you push it too far, you push it too far, but at least you went somewhere.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, also I must stress this, that being creative and doing new stuff doesn't necessarily mean it's good, and
Hmm.
that uh, I mean, doing Cult of Luna do a house album would probably be something completely new, but it would not sound good.
But maybe it would. Who knows? Maybe you tap into some sort of hidden talent, but we'll never find out.
No, hopefully not.
But I mean, quite a lot, I think, has been made of this. I think the way people have been describing it is dubstep section in Eye the Weapon. I'm not even sure I know what a dubstep bass line sounds like, to be honest. And actually, it reminded me more of the bass part in Mixomatosis by Radiohead. But whatever it is, I loved it popping up because I think it just changes the dynamic of a song and keeps you interested and keeps you listening, whatever that might be, as long as it doesn't feel out of place. Doesn't matter what technique you're using.
I was quite surprised um, No, I've heard a lot of that dubstep part. I was quite surprised because nobody mentioned dubstep when we did exactly the same thing on the first album. I mean,
Mm.
we have a part, a song called Beyond Fate, which is a wobbling bass keyboard. I think it's a Moog or a Pro One or something like that, doing exactly the same thing. Didn't hear anything about dubstep. So that's been a working with bass synths and keyboards, and has always been a part of our sound. So yeah, I guess dubstep sounds like Cult of Luna then.
There you go. You're responsible for creating the genre.
Probably.
I think you need to start creaming in some royalties from some of those acts.
Yeah, I know. Didn't Korn do a dubstep album? I haven't. I just.
So, it's another thing that I was interested to know is a little bit, what are the band like once you get on the road? I mean, we talked about when you guys finally get to meet up and actually you're getting to know each other again, just like any friends would do. But once you get on the road and you're sort of moving from place to place, are you quite a sociable band, or are you sort of keep yourselves to yourselves?
I think through the years, look, I remember when I started, when I was 18, 17 years old, and we opened up to some bigger hardcore acts and punk acts, and you kind of, you were very excited to be able to play with them, and like, yeah, maybe now I can exchange a couple of, words with them, and you found out that they were just hanging out, doing their thing, and and at that time, I kind of felt like, we were kind of disappointed. Why don't they come out and hang out and all that? But after being touring for a couple of years, especially when you do longer tours, it becomes like everyday life, and so we all find different um, ways of dealing with day-to-day life on the road. For example, I try to work a lot when I'm
Hmm.
on the road. I try to write. Uh, so, and I mean, I was just talking to a friend just before you called about the life of touring. There were back in the days when I was playing in another band and we were touring around Europe and did these squat tours when we slept on people's floor and all that. And we did that with Cult too for the first years. And you have much more stories from
Hmm.
those tours, and they're much more fun in retrospect. Not always. I mean,
Hmm.
we're going through some hideous situation with this band. But I love doing nightliner tours, and I could actually live in a nightliner. But it's more of it's more of your house, and you live there and you work there, and we hang out within the band. That's pretty much what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're all good friends and enjoy each other's company.
But you've learned to live sort of with and around each other, presumably, having been on, played together for so long that you don't need to constantly be doing stuff together.
No, 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 and I don't think I don't think we have had a proper band fight in a couple of years now. Which is, I mean, we are all over 30 now, I think. Yeah, but we have had some horrible fights within the band
Hmm.
with yours truly as one of the participants. But still, yeah, things are more smooth now.
And is there anywhere in particular you're looking forward to playing over the next couple of months? Anything you're particularly looking forward to?
No, I mean, look, I'm getting old and dull. I enjoy playing everywhere for different reasons.
Hmm.
Like I can get excited for doing big shows. Like it's always exciting if you're gonna do like Roadburn or if you do London or Paris, like big shows that you know it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
But also like we did this shows in the last tour. we were forced to cancel a show in Croatia because of. We shouldn't go into that, but it was a fuck up on our side. So we had to panic just promote a show in Slovenia. I mean, to play a 200 capacity venue. It was not even a venue. It was a small club with a stage that did not. It wasn't fit for 7 people, and that can excite me too, because it doesn't matter what fucks up at that show. I mean, even if you play London or you do big festivals, maybe not festivals, but big shows, and maybe a pedal board start messing with you, and then the whole show is destroyed. Nothing can touch you when you're doing a 200 capacity venue, or if you do that small stage.
Yeah.
Because you're just there, you just play music. One of the most fun shows I've done ever was in Copenhagen, and our driver told, like 3 days before, he told me, like, Johannes, do you know this place? This venue? Like, no. Have you seen the stage size? And so I looked in the tour book, and it said like 1 times 3 meters or 2 times. I can't remember. Like, but that's not even a drum podium.
Yeah.
It must be some error in typing. But we went down to this Danish club, this Danish dungeon, and it was true. There was no stage at all, and you can do 2 things when you get that kind of a show. You either just walk off and don't do the show, because I mean it actually would have been almost impossible for us to play, or you go on and play and just have fun. So we played with only my vocals out in the PA, no other microphone, and maybe 70, 80 people. It was packed, and the mic stand was broken. So during the whole set, a guy, he was holding the mic for me, and his girlfriend were like standing 20 centimeters from my face when I was just yelling. And it was one of the most fun show I ever heard. I actually heard that Neurosis were playing that venue in '96 for the Through Silver and Blood tour. That would have been something. See that record being played in that venue. My lord.
But I mean, it must have made the night for everybody who was there as well to have that sort of experience, and that's what it's for, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's brilliant. How's your voice coping? Because you're getting older. It's some heavy duty work it has to go through.
Yeah, my voice. I need to get I probably have the worst technique in the world when it comes to my vocals. Klaus, that used to do the lead vocals, he's kind of he's born with a natural talent. Me, I have a special technique, which consists of 2 days before we play, I need to go to Magnus studio and yell the hell out of my lungs. I need to destroy my voice. So first day it sounds like crap. Second day it sounds a little less crap. Third day sounds good. Then we can start playing music, and we can start playing live. After that, I have about it's ups and downs, but usually I have like 17, 18 shows in me. After that, I'm done.
Yeah.
But I need to go to New York to that vocal coach. I don't know her name, but everybody keeps.
And how long does it take you to recover once you put yourself through that?
I'm not sure. A couple of weeks, maybe.
And a peaceful time at home while you're in that stage.
With 3 cats, my 1-year-old daughter. It's very peaceful.
Yeah. Well, listen. Thank you very much for talking to us. I'm going to let you rest your voice because you've got some work to do coming up anyway. It's been very nice to speak to you.
I actually have sooner than you think, or than you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for talking to us, and we'll put this out as soon as we can.
All right.
Thank you very much for your time. Cheers.
Cheers.